Vinyl community, hello, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. I was kind of inspired to make this video by my good friend Mike. Mike, this is for you since you requested a video. I thought you would like the content of this video. Hi Mum, I know you watch these. That's all. Here we are, it's a rainy Sunday afternoon here. So I thought I'd just squeeze in a themed video instead of doing a vinyl finds for once. I was kind of inspired to to make this video because I recently finally picked up this wonderful record here called Pyramid Pieces, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. But I was thinking about how in the past few years I've managed to get a really nice selection of Australian and New Zealand compilations. A lot of really cool, interesting stuff has been put out around, mainly from a label that I really like called Lefty Records. There's some stuff here by the Roundtable as well. We'll get through it, but I've just noticed like a real interest and a really cool output of interesting stuff that I hadn't heard previously. So I've got 7 records here. I was thinking about showing older stuff as well, but I've kind of kept everything in this video that's come out within sort of like the past, I guess, 5 years, so most of it is still readily available. Just a quick, easy, light video. So we'll get stuck into it. So this is modal and eco jazz from Australia, 1969 to 1979. Now obviously Australian jazz music is quite close to my heart because I sort of spent 5 or 6 years there, and I remember the guys always talking about some of these records, and they were kind of always around, or you'll see them semi-frequently. Some of the rare ones definitely not, but things like your Galapagos Duck records, even some of the Brian Brown's, John Sangster records, you could sort of find them pretty cheaply, and I picked up a few here and there, and I sold a couple of here and there, and I guess, I always knew there's some really cool, some interesting stuff, some very overhyped things, and when I saw this on the Roundtable, initially I kind of scoffed a little bit, and I was like, those sort of stuff. Especially with the title Modal and Eco Jazz from Australia, I was like, here we go, now it's cool. And for some reason I was a little bit put off. It's hard to describe. But eventually I sort of came around to this, and I just picked this up last week, so it is really fantastic. The Roundtable are a label that I highly recommend, and they always put out some really interesting stuff. Most recently they've put out an Amancio da Silva record and a record called the London Experimental Jazz something. I'll post it here. That I was told about many years ago by my good friend Dave Belson. I should really grab that actually. It's kind of like a really trippy free jazz experimental thing. Anyway, back on topic. This is really wonderful. It really does highlight the best of the best here. You've got Ala Coltrane from Jazz Cop, a record I've never seen, the Alan Lee Quartet Sunflower, John Sangster Quartet Exploration of the Sun, Galapagos Duck, Brian Brown Quintet, and Peter Gaudian's Blues Express, People Make the World Go Round. Really good. I guess it is modal jazz, but it's quite varied. I really like this. I'm looking forward to part 2, which has just been announced actually. So that's Pyramid Pieces on the Roundtable. Please do check out the Roundtable. And then I've shown most of these before throughout the last 5 or 6 years, but it's kind of nice to recontextualize them. This is a release from a local to Wellington label here called StrangeLove Records. They've put out a whole bunch of really cool, interesting stuff from around the world. This is obviously a New Zealand focused release. This is called Kiwi Animals, Future Primitive Aotearoa 81 to 91. Now this is a very eclectic mix. It's very hard to describe what it is. I'll read the hype sticker, which is a bit bit dramatic, but it's not that far off. A personal inventory of 80s New Zealand outside of pop, channeling South Pacific voodoo and edge of world experimentation. Yeah, so there's just elements of ethereal, post-punk, there's almost like a disco tune. Yeah, it's kind of, I did a really good review of this when it first came out a couple of years ago. I've kind of lost the thread a bit here, I haven't heard it in a while, but yeah, so some kind of, I guess, outside or on the edge of New Zealand music stuff from the 80s. Yeah, really strange. Spoken word pieces, yeah, experimental, noisy passages. Yeah, I really like it. It's very bold to put a Headless Chickens track on here as well, but yeah, definitely give this a listen. If you're not from here, there'll probably be a lot of stuff you haven't heard before. So that's that one, yeah. StrangeLove. Please check out the label because they've definitely, even the last release is really interesting. Alright, we move on to the Left Ear Records stuff. You may have heard of Left Ear because they put out the Liang Lao reissues a few years ago. But yeah, this is one that I really love. Came out in 2018. It's very hard to describe this. It's kind of in a similar vein, actually, as the Kiwi Animals. Just strange outsider music. There's a really nice mix of New Zealand and Australian stuff on here. Sorry, my nose is running. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I discovered a lot of really interesting music I had before. Yeah. I don't know about the cover, but yeah, I really recommend checking this one out as well. It's got a nice insert with the album covers here. I still don't have the Free Radicals record, which I'm hoping will pop up one day soon. But yeah, I love the track on here called He Whakapapa by Nahiwi Aotearoa. It's a really beautiful piece of music that I ended up tracking down the record of. It took me a long time, but I got there. Yeah, please check this out, Antipodean Anomalies. This is a really great release here called Oswaves, which is basically on a label called Efficient Space, which also put out some really amazing compilations. Lots of stuff to dig into there. They've recently released a sequel to this. It is basically, as it says here, lost Australian DIY recordings and unreleased archives from 82 to 1989. They've released a second one, which is things that were only available on cassette, which I should get around to grabbing. Yeah, some amazing stuff on here. There's a track called Squids Can Fly by Xerox Dreamflesh, and it's this really trippy psychedelic reggae thing. Lots of, I guess you'd almost say, post-punky or more NoWave kind of stuff on here. Strange spoken word pieces. Yeah, lots of bizarro bits and pieces of music, I guess you would put it. But yeah, I love this. This is definitely worth listening to. We'll mix it up a bit here. This is another release on Efficient Space called 3 AM Spares. It's a compilation of Australian electronic and dance music, I guess, from the 90s. Look at that cover. Some really interesting cuts on here. It does sound very 90s. I really like this back cover here. Yeah, quite a few bangers on here. I can't really speak too much to a lot of these names because I'm too young, or I obviously wasn't around. But yeah, this is a compilation selected by Andras and Instant Peterson. Came out in 2018. So yeah, that's Efficient Space. We'll jump back to Left Ear Records. This is one that I really love here. It's called Midday Moon, Ambient and Experimental Music from Australia and New Zealand from 1980 to 1995. This is beautiful. Some really nice. It's mainly ambient rather than experimental. It definitely stays on the ambient side of things. I've said it before, but it kind of sounds like this cover looks. yeah, I guess names on here you'll probably know is Not Drowning Waving. Beautiful, beautiful. I really still want that first EP with the green cover. And from a New Zealand point of view, Free Radicals, again, probably a big name. But yeah, absolutely wonderful. Very relaxing, very ambient. From memory, there's a really beautiful photo on the inside here. Yeah, there we go. So if you can, I'm not sure how hard this is to get these days, but it's yeah, really worth checking out. Very relaxing. If there's anything I've missed or I don't know about that is along these similar lines, please recommend it to me. I'd love to hear or check any of that stuff out. And now this one is a little bit different, but it kind of fits and it's something that I really love. This came out in 2019 on Giles Peterson's Brownswood label. It very much captures a time and a place and a feeling. This is Sunny Side Up. It's a compilation of Melbourne jazz stuff when this stuff was really coming up and really getting some traction. There's a really wonderful, even though there's lots of different, I guess, styles of jazz and funk, and you know, it kind of all does tie together really nicely. There's some spiritual stuff on here, some really funky, dancey, jazzy stuff, some spiritual jazz. Yeah, it's really nice. Some almost hip hop and R&B influenced things. It's a really wonderful comp that kind of really nicely showcases how diverse the Melbourne jazz scene was at the time. This came out, I think, just after the We Out Here comp of the UK thing came out, so it's kind of almost like a companion piece, I guess. What would I say is a highlight on here? I really like the track by Horatio Luna. I need to give this a listen again. I haven't heard it in a long time. But yeah, fantastic. Again, I had some New Zealand compilations I was going to pull out of stuff that is from sort of the 80s and 90s, but I thought I'll stick to more recent things. But yeah, just a quick fun video. Not too many details, not too many descriptions. Thank you for watching.